What's up, everybody? I'm DJ 6 Minute. You're watching The Sit Down. Look who's here. Tiffany Boone. Tiffany, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. How are you holding up with everything going on?
Making it through. I'm really lucky to just be able to just really take the time to rest at home. Like a lot of people don't have that luxury, so I feel really blessed and just praying for all the people who are the front lines of this. But yeah, how about you?
Everything's good. Yeah, it's rough out there, but the good news is that there's plenty of time to watch stuff, and you've been in a ton of
Yeah.
things lately. So where do you want to start? Why don't we start with Hunters? What was that experience like for you?
Wild. It's such a crazy show with so many genres packed in one. Working with Al Pacino and Carol Kane. It was truly a gift, and the whole cast became like a family. So it was a wonderful experience.
What's your best Pacino story that you have?
My favorite Pacino story. He was telling us about how when he first started doing film, from doing theater, and he was like, he did his first film, and he was like, it's not for me. I don't get it. I'm not good. And he was like, and then I decided to come back and do another film, and it was okay. And I was like, what was the second film? The Godfather. Like, oh, okay, Al, you got it pretty quickly. I think you caught on very quickly.
Yeah, no biggie. Just one of the best movies of all time, right?
No big deal.
That's a really interesting show. So what fascinated you the most just about the character that you played and the storyline overall?
Well, for the story overall, it was just, for me, I'm always looking to be a part of something that is starting a conversation. And I think there's a lot that happens in this show that actually relates to things that are happening in our world right now. Even though we're talking about the Holocaust, even though it's set in the 70s, these are discussions that are still going on. So I thought it was a really thought-provoking show. And to play Roxy is just like, she's the biggest badass I've ever seen in my life. You know, she's a fighter, and she's a mom, and she's tough, but she's also vulnerable, and she has the best costume. So she was just like a character I'd never played before, never really seen before. So it was like a blessing to be able to play her.
I think one of the things I love about TV and movies right now is just the expansion of the range that we're seeing in these different types of roles. Like, when did you kind of notice things were changing? Because you've been acting for a while. Like, when did you start to see things really shift?
It's hard to pinpoint, but I'd say around the time where like Insecure came out, and like Dear White People, and all of these like shows that were done by, like creators of color, and really diverse casts, and also just like with streaming platforms, there's just so much for everyone to do. So at one point it was like 15 of us fighting for the same role, right? And we were all auditioning for the same things. And now there's so much material that like everyone gets a chance, and everyone has an opportunity to do something really cool.
Yeah, I think about The Chi, for example, and that's a show that's breaking so many barriers. When you think about that experience, what was the coolest part for that?
I'd say the coolest part was just being able to connect with people who were from Chicago, and that were from, cities like Chicago. I'm from Baltimore, and we have a lot of the same kind of challenging dynamics that city has. And I think that like being able to tell those people's story was so interesting, and be able to meet people on the street, and they'd be like, I saw myself in Jerica, and I see myself in the show, and that person's like my uncle, that person's like my mom. That was the most interesting and fun and rewarding part for me.
Yeah, and for Jerica specifically, it's like she's trying to do her own career thing, and like stuff on the streets is pulling her back, relationships pulling her back. Like, there's really complicated layers, and I think the show did a great job in really showing those.
Yeah, I'm not on the show anymore, but good luck
Right.
to them.
No doubt about it. Well, Little Fires Everywhere is the show that you're on, and that's another one. Kerry Washington, Reese Witherspoon. What was the biggest challenge of doing that one?
Well, it's a big deal to be working, with Reese and Carrie, two legends at this point that I really look up to, and especially kind of building a character where the foundation has already been set by Carrie. someone that I've admired and watched for a long time. So I just felt like they were big shoes to fill. But from the beginning, she was so supportive and totally was like, look, you're not doing my character. This is our character. So we have to build her together and you have complete freedom over that. And so at the same time as it being really challenging and a little intimidating, it was also like one of the most rewarding and freeing experiences for me.
That's really awesome. Now, going back a little bit, I remember you from The Following back in the day. What was the favorite part of that experience?
My favorite moment was actually when I killed my mother.
That show is dark.
Yeah. I have a streak of playing really like murderous characters. So, but that was the most fun for me. It was, you know, my first series regular on a show with really great actors and being able to play like such a complicated character. So yeah, that scene where I stabbed my mother, I still think about being on set that day. And one time I didn't have the right knife because they have different knives for different takes or whatever. And I thought I had the one that kind of pushes in, and I didn't. I had like a knife that was just dull, and I stabbed it into her, and we both looked at each other like, oh my God, this could have been so bad. I could have really stabbed her. But yeah, it was really fun.
Oh man. What are some shows that you're watching right now in your downtime?
Like everyone else, I did Tiger King because.
What'd you think?
I mean,
it's wild, right?
It's wild. I'm gonna go back and watch it again actually because I feel like there's stuff like there's so much you just can't like comprehend at first. But I've also been doing like unfortunately I'm doing a lot of reality, but RuPaul's Drag Race is on right now, so I'm really enjoying that. That's what I'm doing all the like after shows and the reviews and all of that. So that's my favorite thing right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing to separate from everything else going on.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of really cool things. What are some other goals you have for yourself? You know, what are some other areas you want to explore? You know, what are you thinking about for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to get into producing. It was something I was kind of lightly interested in. And then once I worked on Little Fires Everywhere and saw the amazing production companies that Reese and Carrie had started and how they really run their business with integrity and every cast member feels, you know, very valuable and heard, it really pushed that desire for me. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. And I also am really interested in starting a school one day that uses arts therapy to help children. I grew up doing theater and being involved in the arts, and it really healed a lot of wounds for me and has really helped me. And I've seen with my own two eyes the difference it makes in kids' lives because I went to performing arts schools. So that's a big goal of mine as well.
Yeah, I think the arts are really important, not only just to work things out, but to learn about all different areas of your life that you may not necessarily learn in regular type of classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Tiffany, it's been great chatting with you. Be safe, be well, and we'll talk to you down the road, all right?
You too. Thank you.